Welcome back to Ashton Gate. It feels so good saying that with fans here.
Another opportunity, and he's onside, and it's 2 for Bristol City, and this time, and it's in! An early goal for Bristol City, and Andy Vyman is back!
And it goes clear header for Bristol City, and they are level. And it's a first goal for Andy King for his boyhood club.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Robins TV for our coverage of Nigel Pearson's Bristol City's away trip to Nottingham Forest in the Sky Bet Championship. The Robins will be looking for a return to winning ways after Tuesday night's defeat against Coventry, although there were some promising signs, a great display at times. So joining me in the studio for this one is professional development phase coach Trevor Chalice. Trevor, welcome back to Robins TV. Thanks very much for coming. First of all, let's look at Tuesday night, because there were some moments of magic, weren't there?
No team ever wants to play football and lose the game, but sometimes there's a positive way of losing, and I think some of the words that the manager used after the game, you know, disappointed to lose, yes, but the performance level was what he was wanting, and there was some really good individual performance as well as a collective performance from the team as well.
It feels like that every time we watch City at the moment, something improves, something gets better, which is real positive momentum, isn't it?
I think it is, and it's definitely a young team that is building, and the momentum's there with them, and they're getting better all the time. Defensively, we're looking a lot more solid. I think Tim Close is coming, and he's doing he's great partnership now with Callas, so that's been really positive. I think some of the performances from the young individuals have been really pleasing in particular. So there's a lot, I think, for people to be happy. Yes, everybody's disappointed with the result, yes, but there was a positive performance in there as well. And
some great individuals, you've seen the boys getting off the bus here. Some great, there's Hando and Sengo, for example, great individual performances. You don't want to single people out, but likes of him and Alex Scott, you know, great performances on Tuesday night.
Absolutely, and to see Alex at 18 years old being trusted to play in a deep six position, we call it, in front of the back two, you know, the faith the manager's given him in that position, I think has been really good for Alex, and he's showing, and he's grown with confidence, I think, with each performance that he's playing in. Not only him, Hando, Masengo, Sam Bell as well in particular. It's great to see Sam on the pitch as well.
Yeah, you must be delighted that this homegrown talent is just being integrated so well into the first team now.
I think everybody that's involved in the academy, from top to bottom, you know, we're all excited. It's what we've worked hard for. Yeah, the performances have to warrant going into the first team, and so, as I said, some of the performances now are going into not only help the team play, but help the team try and win football matches.
And that integration, it must be tough going, you know, straight into the first team, into that environment, into the dressing room like that. How do you prepare, you know, a young player for those sorts of experiences?
From my own personal experiences, being in that type of environment as well, you're always trying to learn off the senior pros. I think they're very important for the young lads in there. And some of the senior pros, the likes of Matty James, Andy King, have been outstanding for those young. So I think we have some not only outstanding older professionals, we've got some really good younger professionals coming through as well.
Good. We'll hear more from some of those younger professionals on the way in just a minute, Trevor. First of all, time to get the latest team news in from the Midlands. The man, he's our very own John Motson. He's even wearing a sheepskin jacket today to prove it. You won't be able to see that. Probably a good thing. The latest team news now with Toby Osborne.
Thanks very much, Downsy. Yes, let's start with the home side today, Nottingham Forest, who will have to do without their hero from Ashton Gate in the return fixture this season, Lyle Taylor. He's headed out on loan in the January transfer window to Birmingham. Steve Cooper makes just one change from his side that he described as looking tired during the week at Deepdale. Yates drops down to the bench. He's replaced by Watford loanee Philip Zinkernagel. It'll be three at the back, a three that includes January signing Steve Cook, who ended his 10-year association with Bournemouth during the window as well. Jed Spence, who's captured the interest of a number of Premier League sides, he takes up the position on the right flank. Manchester United loanee James Garner will sit in behind the strikers. Johnson and Aston Villa loanee Keenan Davis as well. A very youthful and attacking option up front for Steve Cooper today. And on the bench, Carlos Diaz, otherwise known as Cafu, is alongside new signing from January 2, Sam Surridge. Two changes for Bristol City. Joe Williams and Cam Pring come in for Benarous and Sam Bell. I think a lot of City fans will have anticipated those switches. You'd imagine Jada Silva will switch to right back with Pring left back. As Curtis Fleming alluded to earlier on this week, Williams is like a coiled spring at the moment, desperate to make his mark. He gets his start today alongside Scott and Masengo. We saw him playing in almost that quarterback role for Bristol City when he's played spraying passes, I should say, from between the two centre halves. Up front, Martin, Vyman and Semenyo go again, the former two combining for the goal midweek. And then big news from the bench sees a return for Matty James after a long injury layoff. Tommy Conway makes up the substitutes as well from the bench. Bell, Cundy and Wells among the substitutes as well. Right, let's hear from the man who picked the side today. It's Nigel Pearson.
Nigel, your side have made the trip north today to Nottingham. Glorious day for some football. You'll be looking for some fluidity again in that performance.
Yes, but I'm really looking for a good away performance from the team. So, yeah, it's important we make sure that we're not an easy proposition to play against. And when we've been away from home recently, we've had some good performances, but unfortunately we've just not been able to go the full distance in those games and see it through. So it'll be a tough game here because it'll be, I think, a very good atmosphere. Probably expecting close to a full house. So it'll be a good one for our younger players to experience. Quite partisan here, but they're games that you should enjoy as a player.
You said it there. Obviously, it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's something that your players could potentially feed off as well.
Absolutely. I always think as an away player, one of the big aims is to try and make the home crowd quieter or a little bit uneasy, and that's one of the motivations I think that for players in games like this. We professionally always want to play in big games, so. Yeah, I think that's it will be another way of measuring where we are, just in terms of how players are able to cope with intimidating venues like this. So, looking forward to the game.
Cameron Pring and Joe Williams come back into the side. Matty James also onto the bench. Yeah. Good injection of experience today.
Well, I think, as I explained last week with Joe, he'd not played, if you like, a week-to-week games back-to-back. So I think that was always going to be important, that we try to manage his pitch time in games, because he's had 2 years at the club and not as many games or appearances as he would like. But it's good to have him back in, and Pringy comes back into defensive role for us. And I think being away from home, that is a sensible move for us.
Best of luck today, Nigel.
Yeah, cheers, thanks.
Nigel Pearson chatting to George West up in Nottingham, which is actually where Nigel Pearson was born. That's his hometown. What a guy, though. I mean, we're just talking there during that film that the amazing people skills that Nigel has just really integrated into the club really well, hasn't it?
He has, and he made us feel really welcome when we moved into the High Performance Centre from SGS, and his people skills have been outstanding. I think just making us feel part of Bristol City Football Club when we moved into there originally. So as coaches, he's been great for us.
In terms of the team selection today, Joe Williams, obviously, we've talked about him a lot already so far today, but I think the words were he's like a coiled spring, waiting to go. So great to see him start today.
It is, and I think we've had to manage Joe correctly. We want him to play week in and week out and every minute, but I think it's correct the way he's been managed, and playing away at Nottingham Forest, I think, is going to be a really important position for him to probably sit in front of the back four, command and demand off each other, and his experience. And although he's still relatively young, I think will be really important today.
And what do you think the key messages are going to have been in the changing room today?
It'll be to build on from midweek, and obviously be a little bit more solid in important areas, but go and win the game. I think there's enough in that team there today to go and beat Nottingham Forest.
Okay. Let's hope, Trevor. Let's hope. Good hope. Right, time for another Robins TV exclusive now. And up to the High Performance Centre we go. We're talking teammates with another star of our season so far. Cam Pring is with Robins TV reporter Dan White.
Okay, Cam, welcome back to Robins TV. Your job today is to dish the dirt, if you like, or give us an insight into this Bristol City squad. You just need to tell us who in the squad fits the bill for each of these scenarios. So, who in the squad, first off, is most likely to get lost in Bristol?
I'll probably go with Joe Williams. He comes across as the class clown, but I can imagine he's got no sense of direction at all. So yeah, it'll have to be him.
I've got a feeling his name's going to come up a lot,
Yeah.
as he always does in these sort of teammates questions. Who in the squad is most likely to stay in the shower the longest? Who loves a good soak after training?
I'd give that one to Tim.
Tim Close?
And he hasn't been here long, but he does love a chat in the shower. And he does stay in quite a while. So yeah, it'd have to be Tim.
Chatting in the shower?
Yeah.
Okay.
If he gets a good group in there, he'll be in there a while.
Loves a good chat. Okay. Who in the squad is the last one out of the dressing room on a match day?
On a match day, I'd probably put myself up there. I don't like rushing, obviously, after a game. I just want to relax. It depends on who's on the bench, really. But yeah, I'd put myself up there.
Always staying quite a long time after?
Yeah, I'd say it probably takes me about an hour to get out.
Really?
Yeah.
And you've got to have that chat with Tim, of course, at the end. Who in the squad could give stand-up comedy a good crack?
Like I said, Joe, class clown. I think he'd do a good job. I'm not sure he'd write his own material, but yeah, he'd give it a good go, I think.
He's the joker in the pack. Who in the squad is always in the gaffer's good books?
Matty James and Andy King. I think, yeah, it's got to be those two.
He's known him the longest, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's obviously brought him here, worked with him before. I think, yeah, definitely those two.
Excellent. Who in the squad is going to make a fool of themselves on a team night out?
Again, Joe. But to be fair, I haven't. We've only had one night out. Well, I've only been on one night out with the team as a whole. So it's a hard one to say. But probably me as well. do go a bit over the top. But yeah, probably Joe or Andy.
Maybe at the end of the season we'll see a good team night out. Who in the squad is going to finish first in a 100-metre sprint?
I'd like to put myself up there, but I'm going to give it to Naki.
Naki Wells?
Yeah, just because I think I'm quick over 20 metres or so, but I feel like he'd have the edge on me if it was 100 metres.
Over the course of 100 metres. So Naki gold medal, you silver. Who's taking bronze?
Antoine would probably be up there.
Yeah, nice.
Thomas, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Thomas is very quick, surprisingly. But again, I don't think he'd keep it over 100 metres. I think it'd be more 20 to 30 metres. Tom would be right up there. Yeah, so Naki, 100%.
Okay. Who in the squad is most likely to spend the most on clothes?
Antoine.
Antoine Semenyo?
Yeah, Antoine Semenyo. He loves his shoes. He loves his tracksuits, cargos. I don't actually think I've seen him wear the same bit of clothing twice. So,
really?
And he always got different shoes on. So yeah, definitely him.
Antoine Semenyo. Who in the squad is most likely to write a book?
Have to be one of the experienced lads there. Probably Kingy or J-Mo again, talking about their career. Simo would probably be up there as well, talking about his career. I'm sure he's got a lot of stories to tell.
I bet. Okay, and then finally, who in the squad is the first one in and the last one out for training?
I know Andy's in early in the morning.
Andy Wyman?
Andy Wyman, yeah. But if you're talking about actually going out to training, I'd say it's probably the younger boys. Alex Scott, Tommy Conway, Sam Bell. They're always out there having a game of two-touch. Probably the last one's in as well, doing the same thing.
Cam Pring chatting to Dan White there up at the HPC. That might be my favourite VT of the season so far. I love it. Right, still to come then, we look ahead to a fantastic game tomorrow. It's the Bristol City women taking on the London Lionesses. We'll look forward to that fixture tomorrow. Plus, we take a look back at the last time we were up at the City Ground. That plus all the action for our overseas visitors from the pitch from 3 o'clock. All still to come after this short break. back to Robins TV for our coverage of Bristol City's trip to the Midlands to take on Nottingham Forest. More from our guest Trevor Chalice on the way very shortly indeed. But first of all, time to head over to the women's side of the HPC now. Big game tomorrow for Bristol City women as they take on the London Lionesses. So we sat down again ahead of that game with Ava Kaiken and Satara Murray for a game of Mrs. and Mrs. Take a look.
It's definitely you!
Are you mad?
Are you serious?
What?
Bro, I've been waiting out here for 15 minutes for you.
I've been waiting in the car for you.
Hi, I'm Satara Murray.
And I'm Ava Kaiken.
And this is Mrs. and Mrs.
Teammate edition.
All day, every day. I can't get a second to choose a song, even though you do ask me what I'm feeling.
So we get in the car and I say, what genre do you want? She picks the genre.
I do.
And then...
Ava's gonna say me, so I'm gonna say
you
me.
know. Let him know. Let him know.
Nah, listen, Laz and I just get on really well. I don't even know. She thinks both of us are crazy. She likes both of us.
Yeah, but you're all...
What? Say it with your chest.
This girl cannot step a foot out of line. Everything she does is just star people.
You're FOS, but it's fine.
FOS?
I'm not gonna say it on camera, but but I think I just have a really good relationship with Laz, so that's it.
Your relationship's better.
Okay, yeah, all right, let's do that. Fine, me.
Oh!
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. Why would I be? I'm a center back. Why would I do anything?
I'm not gonna lie, we're both on 0 goals for the season, but I scored more in training.
Yeah, because training counts.
Honestly, neither of us.
But
I'm gonna say me though.
But if we have to choose, I would say
me.
Ava, 100%. Yeah. It's definitely you.
Are you mad?
Are you serious?
What?
Bro, I've been waiting out here for 15 minutes for you.
I've been waiting in the car for you.
No.
Honking the
I
horn.
get up at a reasonable hour, get my stuff ready. I'm good to go, waiting for you to get done.
Same. Remember, wrong one.
Oh, see, you did. So you did. Yep, it's Ava, 100%. I don't take that long. You did though. It's fine.
I do not take long.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm mad now.
Okay, all right. Go.
You can follow all the action on the club channels tomorrow. Good luck, City Women. It's 2nd versus 4th tomorrow. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. at Prince's Park for a chance, of course, of battling away at that top spot in the FA Women's Championship. I mean, football, the HPC, it's just thriving. It's a thriving place. We were talking earlier on, all of our interviews taking place in that sort of briefing room. And whenever you get a team in there, you know, it's almost like you have to sort of up your performance a bit because of your environment that you're in. Absolutely.
We had our briefing in there before the Millwall game, so it's a great example. We were able to go through our pre-match video, we would go through our set plays, and then we're able to go and walk out onto the pitch and play. So just to create the environment, like the word I used earlier, the environment is everything, and to create that and then go and play football is fantastic. It really is.
Right, back to the game in hand, which is Forest. Obviously, they're 4 unbeaten. They're on a good stride at the moment. What does that mean for us? How do we go into this game mentally?
I think they're well organised. Steve Cooper has them confident. They don't score many goals, but again, they don't concede that many goals. So, you know, that probably speaks volumes about the organisation. I think it's important that we stop, or we're really mindful of the right-hand side, Johnson and Spence today. I think their link-up is going to be key. Keenan Davies up top is a handful. He's strong and he's powerful, so that's going to be a real good match-up, I think, with our back line. But they've got a strong back line, but without much pace in it. So I think that's going to be a key area where we've got the likes of Anton Semenyo and Jess Wyman who've got good pace, and we might be able to get behind them. So I think they're the sort of key areas on the pitch. And obviously the midfield is going to be important, but they're the key areas, I think, which the game will be one for Bristol City today. He couldn't quite do it with Swansea last season, could he, Steve Cooper? He's obviously keen to go that next stage. What do we have to do to thwart those attempts today? I think we've got to be organised. I think we've got to be patient in our shape. I think we're away from home. They're going to come onto us, and we've got to be well marshalled. And then, as I said, we've got to hit them on the break. I think they can be quite expansive. So that's going to be important. We might be able to get the ball down the sides against their back line. And that's where the likes of Andrew Wyman, as I said, and Anton will get a little bit of joy today, hopefully. Let's hope.
Let's hope there is more joy for us. Right, more from Trevor on the way in a bit. And of course, he'll be doing commentary with Toby throughout the game, which kicks off at 3 o'clock. Let's revisit our last trip to the City Ground now. A great contrast, I'm afraid, from today's absolute sellout crowd. Our fans are just the best, aren't they? To an empty stadium in the pouring rain. But our boys came back the 2-1 victors. Let's take a look.
10 without a win in all competitions, Forest. Lamucci under pressure. Flicked down. And now Wells into the path of Martin. Cuts it back for Vyman. It's Andy Vyman who slides Bristol City into an early lead. After just 12 minutes, Vyman with the goal for the Robins. The clouds are hovering overhead for Sabri Lamucci and Nottingham Forest. Dean Holden delighted. Martin with a cutback. Not cleared away by Blackett. Vyman, it's a really composed finish into that bottom corner. Forest 0, Bristol City 1. And it's Vyman with the early goal. His second of the campaign. And now the former Forest man, Jamie Patterson, with a lovely driven ball from left to right to find Jack Hunt over halfway. In towards Martin, flicks it down for Wells, who doubles Bristol City's lead. And with that, is that the goal that hurts Sabri Lamucci beyond repair? It's a huge moment for Bristol City as they look to maintain their 100% record. For Nottingham Forest, defensively at 6s and 7s again. Martin with the flick down. Naki Wells with an instinctive spinning half volley past Samba. Of course, the City Ground is silent. Forest, though, are sinking. Good patient build-up play. Wells with a good finish. Struggling at Forest in the early weeks of the season. Freeman now from range. And what a goal that is from Luke Freeman. Lift off at the City Ground. Not a bad way to score your first goal of the season for Nottingham Forest off the right foot of Luke Freeman. Driving away from a couple of Bristol City defenders and hitting an absolute beauty.
Okay, let's hope then that it's going to be that first elusive away win of 2022 for Nigel Pearson's men. Time to say goodbye to our viewers on Facebook and YouTube now. EFL restrictions mean we can't show you the game, but you can follow all the coverage, of course, on our social channels or via a Robins TV audio pass. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Saturday.